So you might be thinking, Tommy, of all the Pokemon you could have picked in your lead spot, you could have had Sork, you could have had Mesprit or Magmortar or anything you wanted, and you picked Stunfisk. Why would you do that to yourself? And I say to you, why haven't you put Stunfisk in your lead spot? It's a pretty damn good Pokemon. I kind of looked at its stats online and I thought, well, it doesn't have the best of kind of walling capabilities just because of its typing and stuff, but I thought, okay, it gets Scald, it gets Toxic obviously, it gets Earth Power, Discharge, Pain Split. I think it could make a pretty good wall. So I figured, okay, let's employ it as a physical wall on my team. So I got Gothitelle and Frillish as my special walls. I got this and Vileplume as my physical walls. Again, I haven't really kind of put them in their best roles, but I figured, okay, I prefer the element of surprise to the obvious kind of useful role, so that's generally what I go for. Having said that, I'm probably going to change back my Gothitelle to the physically defensive role after this game as well, but hey, regardless, I'm going to go for a Toxic on his Ampharos as he goes for an Agility. Now, he told me that was a misclick, and I do believe him on that just because it seems a bit weird going for an Agility on the first turn, especially against a Stunfisk which has no speed whatsoever. I mean, if you think about it logically, it looks like a fish which has somehow escaped from a river, probably full of uranium deposits, landed on a road and been run over by an 18-wheeler truck, just like in the Pink song. But it has no speed is what I'm saying. Now I'm going to go straight into Gothitelle here. Now I figured, okay, he's brought in a Mantine, so he probably has Toxic, right? So I'm going to go out to Vileplume here to take it because obviously he's Poison type. I feel like Vileplume is one of those Pokemon in the NU tier which doesn't get enough love. The Poison Grass type is so common that I've kind of overlooked it as being a useful type. Like, I mean, there were loads of them even in like the first generation. You had like, you know, Weeping Bell and, I don't know, the first 3 grass starters I think were Grass Poison as well. There's a lot of them, but you never really think of it as a good defensive type. But it is when you think about it. I mean, obviously, like, it is neutral to ground and neutral to... Actually, I think it resists fighting, so pretty good defensive type in general. Can't be Leech Seeded, can't be poisoned, so yeah, Vileplume is a good solid Pokemon, either as a physical wall or a special wall. Mine's physical, I think, but a few turns happened there. I don't really know what happened, but let's just go with it, see what happens. I'm going to go to Vileplume here as he goes for a Drain Punch. Now, the whole way through this game I was thinking, I don't want to leave Stunfisk in against this Girder because there's a good chance he'll get the Static, which will give him extra power when he gets paralyzed, so I don't really want that to happen. I could Toxic him and try and stall him out, but I don't really feel like that would work because he has the Drain Punch, so yep, now I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb here. That kind of counteracts what I was saying about not wanting him to have a status, but I guess I maybe predicted the switch or something, but yeah, it brings in Mantine here. That's definitely good for me as he gets the Poison Hacks. Now, I'm going to go for a Giga Drain, figuring Mantine can't do anything to Vileplume anyway, so I may as well just get some damage on something. And that's pretty cool as he brings in his Ampharos. So I'm back at full health here, and even though most Ampharoses tend to carry Hidden Power Ice, did I just say Ampharoses? I think you're supposed to say all Pokemon like it's sheep. Like, I mean, the plural is the same as the singular, but hey, whatever. Actually, it is a sheep. Wow, that's weird. He's going for Hidden Power Ice. That does a lot of damage to me. I go for a Giga Drain, or Sludge Bomb, sorry, just to see how much it will do. But because I didn't go for Giga Drain, I don't think I can probably live another Hidden Power Ice, so I'm going to go to Gothitelle. I assume he predicts this, either that or my switch to Frillish, but I wasn't going to go to Frillish because I thought, okay, he might predict that and then go for a T-Bolt, so if I go to Gothitelle, no matter what he goes for, it's not going to do that much to me, and I don't want to be the victim of a good prediction, but that was a good prediction, I have to say. So I figure he's going to die next turn to Toxic, so I may as well just T-Wave. Whatever he wants to do, I don't really care. I guess he predicted my switch back out with the Vileplume there because he goes for the Hidden Power Ice, but hey, yep, it's not going to kill off Gothitelle, so he's going to die to Poison, and you know, I've pretty much written off my Gothitelle at this point just because, you know, 112 health left, paralyzed, so it's not going to be doing all that much. But I'm going to stay in here just in case he wants to set up with a Swords Dance or Nasty Plot or whatever. And he is a Life Orb variant, so that is good to know. But now I'm going to bring in Fearow. I feel like he could have taken me out with a Sucker Punch here. Don't quote me on that, but Shiftry is pretty damn powerful. A Stab Life Orb Sucker Punch might have taken me out, but luckily he doesn't. I go straight for a U-turn. Now, as much as I love this Scarf Fearow set, it really is weak to Stealth Rocks because you're kind of switching in and out all the time. And, you know, when I was planning this team, when I say planning, I mean putting Stunfisk on and then picking out random Pokemon to go with it, I didn't think about stuff like, you know, Rapid Spinners or Stealth Rocks or whatever, so yep, definitely wouldn't recommend this team, but well, it's pretty fun. I like experimenting with different Pokemon, so I do predict the switch here, so I go for Hex. Doesn't do all that much. And then for some reason I stay in here, even though the Toxic was glaringly obvious. But the Hacks God said to me, Tommy, we're going to let you off this one, but make sure you don't do it again, alright? Otherwise you will get Toxic. So I'm going to go to Vileplume here. I do heed their word, I do switch, knowing that he'll probably go for it again. And the whole time I was kind of thinking, this Mantine could have Ice Beam, and I don't want to take an Ice Beam on my Vileplume. So I'm going to go back to Frillish, knowing that he won't go for the Toxic again. But then he shows me his Rest, which is definitely not good for me. I guess Rest is a pretty good move to have on a Mantine, so yeah, that makes sense. I feel like Mantine could probably get Roost. I mean, I know it's like a Manta Ray, so I don't know if it could roost in the sea, but then again it is flying type, so I don't know, does it fly out of the water, or I don't know what their logic is there, but yep, anyways, water flying type, so I know that a Discharge will do a lot of damage to this guy, even though I have no special attack investment and he's a pretty good special wall, but he's going to bring in Gerda here. I was thinking, oh dear, I definitely don't want this paralysis on this guy, so I'm going to go back out into Hay Fever here, take the Drain Punch. Doesn't really do all that much, and you know, I got the Black Sludge, so not really bothered. It's kind of a shame that Vileplume doesn't get Leech Seed. At least I don't think it does. If it does, I'm going to go ahead and put that on after this game, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, so now he's going to go for a payback here. Don't know if he's predicting my switch or not, but not going to do much to Stunfisk. And I think at this point, I think either he's going to switch or I'm getting bored of just, you know, switching around a lot, so I decide to stay in for some reason. Get the static on him there. Unfortunately for me, as weird as that sounds, because now his Drain Punches are going to be doing a lot more damage than they were, thanks to the Guts ability, so you know what, I'm just going to stay in here, keep going for Earth Power, hoping for those Spec D drops just to try and get a bit more damage on him here, get a nice little crit there, which is always helpful. And you know, even though I feel like I'd probably win this battle if I just kind of kept staying in and going for Earth Powers, I don't really want to take all the extra damage on my Stunfisk unnecessarily, so actually, now that I think about it, I probably could have done, just because you'll see a bit later on what I mean, but I can just keep going for Earth Power here, and even if I'm left on like a tiny bit of health, he still has his Mantine there, and it has full health, and I have the Pain Split, so I could in theory just go for that, but hey, whatever, I decide to go back out into Vileplume here. He does get Parahaxed here, which is excellent for me because, you know, even though Vileplume might have lived, would have been nice not to take the damage anyway, so that happens, and that's good. So I'm going to go for a Giga Drain here as he brings in his Torkoal. Even though it's resisted, I feel like it does a decent chunk of damage, so, you know, I get a nice bit of health back. And looking at how much that Giga Drain did, I'm pretty confident that a Sludge Bomb will kill him from here. Vileplume has some pretty decent special attack, and I think actually it takes out like 3 Pokemon this game. Never really what you expect from a wall, but I guess Vileplume is one of the better walls in the NU tier. So now he goes into Gardevoir here. I left my Vileplume in here just to die, pretty much, just because I didn't see much point in keeping it alive. And, you know, I thought he might go for Wish or something. Wasn't really sure, but I think it turns out to be a more offensive set. He pulls a double switch here, I guess making me want to switch to something else, and then I don't know what his plan was, but I go straight for a Sludge Bomb here. I guess me not predicting or him over-predicting or something there gets his Gerdo killed. But now he goes into Shiftry here to go for a Nature Power. That is why I couldn't change the background, just because, you know, Nature Power kind of messes up if you try and change the background, and definitely wouldn't want that happening. So, yep, not going to take out Vileplume here just because I am a physical wall. And now he's going to bring in his Gardevoir again. I don't know why he didn't do that last turn, but it doesn't matter too much because now he's going to kill me off with a Psychic. Now, the fact that he's still at full health means that I can't actually see what item he has. I don't know the relative base speeds of, you know, Gardevoir and Vileplume, but I assume Gardevoir's naturally faster anyway. And the fact that he stays in here kind of suggests to me that he is Choice Scarfed. But even so, I wasn't entirely sure, so I'm going to go straight to Frillish here, just to kind of take the hit, whatever he wants to go for. Turns out to be Psychic, and, you know, I feel like I can probably live another one from there, so I'm going to go for Recover. Just about live it, which is pretty lucky. And, you know, now that I'm pretty sure he's Choice Scarfed, I can go straight into my Shiftry here just to absorb it, because obviously I'm Dark type, so Had he been like expert bet or something and then gone for a random focus blast, I would have not been happy at all. But I mean, that would have been a pretty godlike prediction had he done that, so hey, whatever. Goes for a psychic here, figuring that his Gardevoir was pretty much dead anyway, so he may as well leave it in. As I go for a Seed Bomb. Now he's going to bring in Mantine, and I thought, okay, there's only one guy who is deserving of this kill. That's got to be the Apocalypse here, Mr. Stunfisk. Look at those eyes. How can you not love those eyes? What I should have done here is go for a Pain Split. But now that I'm thinking about it, Discharge only just does over half, so maybe if I'd gone for a Pain Split and then gone for a Discharge, that wouldn't have killed him, but I don't know, I haven't done the damage calcs, but yep, go for a Discharge here. He is going to wake up and go for a Surf. I was a bit worried because I thought he might have Scald, and I figured I could live that, but I just hang on with 4 HP there after a Surf, and go for a Discharge, and Stunfisk here gets the final kill, so yeah, that was a really great battle, so thank you Weakestsauce. It was great fun, definitely enjoyed it. I'm going to try and get some more games recorded with Stunfisk, and I've got kind of a brand new team forming in my head. Mainly revolves around Stunfisk, but I may throw in a few others there, like maybe Heatmore and, I don't know, Frillish again, maybe a Tentacle. Some pretty good NU tier Pokemon which I've never tried out before, but yep, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.